Hey guys, welcome to a special video. Now, summer 2017 has had a lot of great movies and a lot of bad movies, but you know what? I thought, hey, let's just talk about all the best movies of the summer and the worst, but you know what? Let's just go with it. This is the best and worst movies of summer 2017. Kicking up the worst movies of the summer is easily, without a doubt, the worst movie of the summer, Baywatch. Now, I thought, hey, Dwayne Johnson's a funny guy. Zac Efron's a funny guy. I thought them combining their comedic talents would make a funny comedy, and this movie sucks. Let's just say it. Imagine 2 hours of the most unfunny dick jokes after dick jokes after dick jokes. They get so tiring, and it's so cringeworthy. Like, this movie, the jokes don't work. The story is boring. This movie has, without a doubt, easily the worst fire effects I've ever seen from a big budget movie. It's as bad as A Hitman's Bodyguard, which we're getting to in a little bit. But the only thing good about this movie is The Rock and Zac Efron's. The fact they tried, they had good chemistry. Only thing that saved this movie from being complete garbage. But Baywatch sucks. Worst movie of the summer in my opinion. Just don't see it. And coming next in the worst movies, oh my god, The Dark Tower. I completely forgot about this movie, admittedly. Like, this movie is so forgettable that the night I recorded my review, I had a hard time because of how forgettable it is. But from what I remembered, this movie is so rushed that I didn't care. There was no tensions. It's kind of boring, and everyone tries, but it's so forgettable and rushed. Like, I thought it could have been way better, but it's just a lame attempt to set up a Stephen King cinematic universe. The Hitman's Bodyguard. Now, oh my god, this movie is also pretty bad. Like, this movie has some awfully terrible aspects about it. The cinematography is barf-inducing horrible. The soundtrack is so generic. The CGI fire effects are horrendous. And the story is bad. The jokes don't land. Only thing that saves it is Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson's chemistry. But honestly, this movie's not worth seeing. Just rent it. It's honestly better than The Dark Tower and Baywatch. But this movie, it's just pretty bad. Don't see it in theaters. Even though it's a few weeks old at this point. Just don't see it. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. This is a franchise that has no steam left in it. It's basically a franchise that's basically dead in the water. But for some reason, they keep on milking it. Like, this franchise this movie has some enjoyable aspects about it, I'll admit. But this movie does absolutely nothing new. And just recycles a lot of aspects from other movies. And honestly, this franchise needs to be just being let go at this point. Honestly, Pirates 5, it's not even that good. And finally, the best of the worst, Atomic Blonde. Man, I really wanted to love this movie. This movie has some amazing aspects. The stairwell action scene is amazing. The soundtrack is amazing. The direction is great. I think David Leitch is still a good director after this. And the cinematography is gorgeous. It's just that the story is so boring. Like, honestly, the story, like, I didn't care about what happened. It was kind of confusing on how it was told. I really wanted to like it, but I unfortunately left very disappointed. It's the best of the worst, but I still think it could have been a lot better. But now let's actually get to the good movies, aka the best. First of all, I'll start with Cars 3. Admittedly, one of Pixar's weakest films. But after Cars 2, I honestly enjoyed this movie. Like, yeah, its pacing's pretty bad at some points. And yeah, it's kind of generic and not as good as other Pixar work. But this movie has a passable and decent story that at least tries not to milk for money, tries to have a good message. It's one of Pixar's worst, but I wouldn't call it terrible. I actually kind of enjoyed Cars 3. I think the animation is beautiful. I just hope Pixar for now, they just go back to their original roots, which they're probably not going to, except for Coco, but whatever. Cars 3 is decent, and I gotta say I was a little bit surprised by it. Logan Lucky. Now, I wanted the movie to be a little bit better, but to be honest, what I got was still a funny heist comedy with great performances and great directing and a good script. The pacing could have been a little better, but you know what? You could not go wrong with this one. Alien Covenant. Now, this movie is very, and I really mean it, very polarizing. Some people loved it, some people liked it, a lot of people hated it. But to be honest, I actually enjoyed Alien Covenant. It's not perfect, it has its problems, but Alien Covenant, what I got was a creepy, thrilling movie that had some great performances, especially by Michael Fassbender, who is one of the best in the industry today. Ridley Scott directs this movie very nice, with some amazing set direction, and honestly, I was looking forward to a sequel to Alien Covenant. We're probably not gonna get it because of the box office movie, but I enjoyed Alien Covenant, and if they decide to make a sequel to this, I'd be totally down for it. Wonder Woman. Now, to be honest, I was not expecting a lot of great things from this movie because of the DCEU itself, but to be honest, Wonder Woman did surprise me. Wonder Woman is a good movie. I need to stress that. A good movie because this movie has some awesome action, has a great story. Gal Gadot gives a great performance. Chris Pine steals the show with his amazing supporting performance. I enjoyed Wonder Woman. It's a step up for the DCEU, but it has its problems. It's not the movie that everyone's making up to be because this movie has some horrendous CGI, like very noticeable green screen and CGI just does not work. And honestly, the third act is a mess. What was a great movie that was self-contained from the DCEU, in the third act turned into a Zack Snyder visual fest. Oh my god, look at that. We have a light show and it just doesn't work for this movie. But to be honest, Wonder Woman is a great step up for the DCEU, and I hope Justice League can't continue this, but I wouldn't hold my breath, but you know what? I'm hoping to be surprised. Now these two are neck and neck. I don't know which one is better, so right now I'm just going to put them as a tie for now, to be honest. First of all, is Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man Homecoming had the task of rebooting a franchise that was basically killed by Sony, and Marvel had to come in and fix it. And you know what? They did it. Honestly, Spider-Man Homecoming is the best Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2. I still think the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, specifically Spider-Man 1 and 2, are the best, but this movie comes very close. Spider-Man Homecoming nails the character of Peter Parker. Tom Holland did an amazing job playing Peter Parker and Spider-Man. The villain, the Vulture, is the best in the MCU since Loki. This guy's actually intimidating. It's actually a good and well-developed villain. Had a great plot twist within the story. The action is good. The CGI is amazing. And honestly, they nailed the high school aspect and the jokes. This movie is really funny. I found a lot of the jokes very hilarious. And Spider-Man Homecoming, I just think Marvel nailed this movie. It's a great and fun movie. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, to be honest, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 isn't as good as the original. Let me just say that. The original is the best MCU movie. This one isn't as good. However, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is still a lot of fun. It has great spectacle, great action. The comedic performances are great. I like how the movie focuses on the characters, giving them good motivation, giving them good backstory, developed the characters pretty much to the point where I actually really care for them by the end. I still don't think it's still as well-rounded a film as the first one, but to be honest, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is a well-worthy sequel. I can't wait to see where they're going to bring them in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I just hope they up the quality a little bit in Volume 3. Okja. This is a movie I felt nobody saw, which is a big shame because Okja is a wonderful film. This is such a charming, hilarious movie, has some great political aspects, surprisingly. Jake Gyllenhaal stole the entire show of this movie. The cast is amazing. The direction is good. It's so original. It's like an adult Disney movie in the best way possible. Please see Okja if you haven't seen it. It's on Netflix. I heavily recommend it because it's the best movie Netflix has made so far. Wind River. Now, I just reviewed this movie, so I'm not going to say a lot, but what I'm going to say is this is a dark and disturbing movie, but it's so good. Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen are phenomenal. Taylor Sheridan is perfect as the director. It's so intense, so riveting. Just go out and support this movie. I heavily recommend it. The Big Sick. This is just an original and very funny romantic comedy. Kumail Nanjiani writes and stars this movie to perfection. It's just non-cliched, very hilarious. If you haven't seen The Big Sick, it's about to come out digitally. Rent it, support it. Please see this movie. It's one of the best movies of the year, and you'll not be disappointed. Detroit. This is a movie that shook me, kept me thinking about it. I was honestly not expecting a lot, and this movie kind of blew me away. The filmmaking by Kathryn Bigelow is so good. Like, it felt like a documentary. I felt like I'm actually witnessing events in front of my eyes. It was so intense, so raw. Will Poulter gives the best supporting performance of the year so far. Bar none, he needs to be nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Maybe even win, because he's that goddamn good. Honestly, this movie is such an important movie. I'm kind of sad to see it really flopped at the box office. Understandably, because this movie is a very dark movie, but if you haven't seen it, please go rent it when it comes out. It's one of the best movies of the year. War for the Planet of the Apes. This is a movie I really, and I really mean it, really wish I reviewed in this channel. Because this movie is a movie I had no expectations for. I went in and this movie floored me. Like, oh my god, this movie is so emotional, intense, epic, phenomenal. All these words I had to say that kind of are the same, but to be honest, it makes sense. This movie has some of the best CGI I've ever seen from a movie. Real performances, real everything. This movie is so emotional and it almost put me to tears at the end. This movie is kind of epic with its war. This movie has great moral dilemmas for the characters. It concludes the trilogy so well. This is one of the best movies of the year. It's honestly as good as Logan, which I did not think I'd say at all. War for the Planet of the Apes is one of the best conclusions to one of the best trilogies of this generation. Baby Driver. This is hands down the most original and most fun movie I've seen in theaters all years. I saw it twice in the theaters. So worth it. This movie is a phenomenal movie. Has some of the best car chases I've ever seen put to film. This movie's editing is perfection. How he uses music to match the beat of every action scene. How he uses music to describe the scenes going on. How the movie has amazing characters, amazing performances. Edgar Wright directs this movie to absolute perfection. This movie is such a blast, so good. I'm so happy to see that this movie succeeded in the box office. I'm so happy to see that people went out to support something this original and this good. Baby Driver is one of the best movies of the year. And if you somehow haven't seen this movie, shame on you. Get on it when it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray, digital. Just see it. It's absolutely worth it. And finally, number one, you guys knew this year, and I don't care about the hate I'm getting. Dunkirk. I gotta suck him off again, I'm sorry. Christopher Nolan just directs this movie to perfection with every single aspect. The score by Hans Zimmer is spectacular. The cinematography is jaw-dropping. The performances are incredible. The story is so good. How it's told is different from other movies, but it's so unique to this movie, and it makes sense for what this movie needs to go for. And I gotta say it, like what everyone has said, this is the most intense movie I've probably ever seen in theaters. I was clenching like this in the seat. I was scared. I felt like I was in a war. I was so immersed with the most spectacular sound mixing of the year. I felt every bullet. I felt every plane go by. It's just a masterful movie. Man, this movie is the best theater experience I've ever had in my life. I don't, just bar none, best experience ever. I'm sorry to say it, this is the best movie of the year, and I don't care what anyone's gonna say. Dunkirk is one of my favorite movies of all time, and this movie proves why Christopher Nolan is my absolute favorite director of all time. Alright guys, that's the best of worst summer video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a like, favorite, and subscribe. Click on the notification bar for alerts to my new videos. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.